I am proud of the work I do and proud to go to Ridgeland Farms each day.
Right now, the lead veterinarian at Ridgeland Farms speaks out on his role at the controversial dog breeding site, why a state regulatory body is letting him keep his license. Plus, a Madison man is charged in a deadly crash on the city's west side. What the criminal complaint is revealing about that incident. And later, a sick bobcat draws bird flu speculation, what recent tests determined, and if pet owners should be concerned. We welcome you now to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson. Thanks for joining us. Eric Franke is off tonight. The lead veterinarian and facility manager of Ridgeland Farms will keep his license. This is the latest in what's become a public battle over that farm's future. Kyle Pozorski joins us now with what today's decision means. Kyle?
Yes, Sarah. So like we've told you before, for years, Ridgeland has faced accusations of animal cruelty. And today we heard directly from Richard Van Domelen as he faced that possibility of losing his license.
Public comments come from Dr. Van Domelen.
In front of Wisconsin's Veterinary Examining Board, Richard Van Domelen laid out why he should keep his license to practice. It all comes as a petition was brought to the state regulatory body seeking the suspension of that license.
The animal extremist groups are using this as yet another tactic in their 8-year campaign to close Ridgeland Farms.
Joined Tuesday afternoon by his attorney, Eric McLeod, Van Domelen asking the board to exercise due diligence during a public comment session on the matter.
I find it extremely troubling that I'm given only 5 minutes to defend my 25 years as a licensed veterinarian to this body.
The staff veterinarian of Ridgeland since 2006, Van Domelen, along with the farm, have been publicly criticized for many years, all surrounding claims made by animal rights activists and former employees.
If having two former employees both testify under oath to witnessing the mutilation of hundreds, if not thousands, of dogs over the course of decades that were supposed to be under the care of this veterinarian, if that's not enough to warrant the revocation of that veterinarian's license, I would just ask what is.
Van Domelen strongly pushing back on those claims.
I have chosen this career because of my love for animals and my desire to contribute to the greater good. I am proud of the work I do and proud to go to Ridgeland Farms each day.
And while Van Domelen will keep his license, the board did move to adopt a stipulated agreement put forth by his attorney. And Sarah, News 3 Now has not so far been able to confirm what those stipulations are.
So, Kyle, it's hard to understand. Why do you think the vet chose now to speak about the petition?
Well, I think it really comes down to the fact that this today was really about figuring out if he was going to keep his license or not. You know, if this decision went a different way by this board to say that your license can be suspended, then that would have really kind of thrown a wrench into his livelihood.
Sure.
And so I think that's why now he really decided to speak up and speak up very actively about this.
Well, and thank you for all your coverage. It's been several months since October of last year, so we really appreciate it, and we'll follow up on it, too.
Yeah, totally. Thank you,
Thank you, Kyle. In other news now, a Madison man is officially charged in a recent deadly crash on Madison's west side. 20-year-old Rayon Bertrand is charged with first-degree reckless homicide, homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and 2 counts of OWI, causing injury. The deadly crash happened on Thursday at the intersection of South Gammon Road and Raymond Road. According to a criminal complaint, Bertrand allegedly told police that he had been drinking all day. The complaint says he was driving at speeds nearing 90 miles per hour on Raymond Road just before crashing into that other vehicle. 1 person in the other vehicle died at the scene, while 3 others, including 2 children, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. An 18-year-old man is facing several charges in Sauk County for allegedly driving away from an officer who was trying to pull him over. This started on Highway 12 in Baraboo Saturday night when a deputy spotted a vehicle swerving back and forth. The deputy tried to pull him over, but the driver took off with speeds reaching more than 120 miles per hour. That chase went into County Road W, where the driver lost control and hit several trees. The driver and 2 passengers then ran from the crash. All 3 were located, and the driver is being held in the Sauk County Jail. A former Walworth County correctional officer is being charged for possessing child sex abuse materials. Last Thursday, law enforcement executed a search warrant at Samuel Piper's residence. Money was allegedly being transferred to suspected minors in exchange for videos and images back in June and July of last year. Piper resigned from his position the same day as that search warrant. He was arrested on Friday. Well, it was a little cooler and certainly windy out there today, but the warm weather is coming back. Let's check the first warm forecast with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. Not bad out there.
No, not at all, Sarah. It's actually really quite nice out here. The winds have eased up a little bit out here on the patio, making for a beautiful evening. The sun is still out until 7 o'clock, if that's something that suits your fancy. And look at those warm temperatures coming back. 57 tomorrow on Wednesday, 64 Thursday, and all the way up to 72 on Friday. But that's out ahead of a big weather system that's going to mean some business, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in Maine weather. But let's enjoy the nice stuff right now. Still 45 in Madison, 49 in Lone Rock, 49 in Camp Douglas, and 45 in Janesville. Coming in a little bit closer to home here. Temperatures upper 40s, 47 in Middleton, 48 in Verona, and 48 to the south and west in Belleville. Just a touch cooler than where we were during the 5 o'clock newscast as we ease towards sunset, but still gorgeous for this time of year. 5 degrees above our normal high still. I mentioned the winds have come down. They're east-northeast at 9 miles per hour. Planning the rest of the evening. Skies partly cloudy to clear. Temperatures in the 30s when you join us for the 10 o'clock newscast. And we'll see the mercury go all the way down into the upper 20s to right around 30 as you wake up on Wednesday morning. But that big storm system, and it's going to be a big weather maker for the Midwest, bringing the potential of severe weather to parts of southern Wisconsin. We're going to track that line of thunderstorms. And also I want to give you a glimpse of how much water we could potentially expect from those storms, because we definitely could use the precipitation. A little bit more on the weather system in a couple minutes. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Alex. Concerns are growing over a $1 billion cut in federal programs that provides local money for food that ends up in our schools. The Agriculture Department has cut 2 federal programs that provided money for both schools and food banks to buy food from local farmers. The first program provided nearly $660 million to the Local Food for Schools Cooperative Agreement Program. The rest was earmarked for the Local Food Purchase Assistive Cooperative Agreement Program. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is directing the FDA to eliminate a food safety loophole. This rule, called Generally Recognized as Safe, or GRAS, allows manufacturers to add certain food additives without approval if they meet specific criteria that experts have deemed safe for consumption. Now, critics say it's easy for manufacturers to add ingredients to products without any heads up to regulators. Kennedy says eliminating this loophole will get the nation's food supply back on track. Well, a group of Milwaukee chefs are jumping in to help a nonprofit facing federal funding cuts. The Trump administration cut $90,000 for the nonprofit Hanan Refugees Relief Group. So 6 chefs from around Milwaukee collaborated in the kitchen and prepared a dinner that served as a sign of hope.
I walked in and I got emotional because it's been a very challenging 60 days. It gives you faith that, our community is here for us and to support us.
Organizers say the event not only raised critical funds, but also created awareness for that organization. Well, the Brewers are coming to WISC-TV and Television Wisconsin. Morgan Murphy Media is partnering with The Crew and Good Karma Brands to bring you 13 Brewers games to air this season in Madison. In addition to 10 regular season games, we'll also be airing 3 spring training games as well. The first is scheduled for this Saturday when the Brewers take on the Los Angeles Angels. First pitch for that one is at 3:10. Then after spring training, we'll be broadcasting the home opener against Kansas City on March 31st. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, a bobcat with bird flu. After the break, what test results are revealing and if pet owners should be worried.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. A bobcat is making headlines after the Fitchburg Police Department responded to the sick animal in the middle of the road last weekend. Wildlife experts say they originally thought this bobcat was suffering from bird flu. Our Merrill Hubbard digs deeper into the disease.
Around this area near Cottonwood and Commerce Park Drives is where Fitchburg police responded to a docile bobcat that ended up stirring up some fears online. Wildlife experts who were taking care of the kitty say that its symptoms signaled bird flu.
The behavior of this bobcat was completely abnormal. Should not have been friendly, and it was acting as if it was a domestic house cat.
Jackie Sandberg is the wildlife program manager at the Dane County Humane Society's Wildlife Center, a place that specializes in caring for animals like this bobcat.
It should be hissing at me. It should be trying to claw at me, but it was just sitting patiently.
She says the suspicion of bird flu among the center's veterinarians grew stronger over time. 2 days after the bobcat arrived at the center, it started having seizures.
So, unfortunately, with those symptoms, I think the chance of it successfully being rehabilitated was very, very low.
After a rapid decline in its health, vets at the center decided to put down the bobcat.
So with that, the USDA APHIS did come out to test and swab the bobcat to see if it was initially positive for avian flu. That result actually surprisingly came back negative. We were honestly very surprised as a staff team and vet team about that.
Since interviewing Sandberg, the DNR tells me that they are planning to retest the bobcat before confirming the results. Whether the bobcat tests positive or negative in the future, Sandberg says avian flu is still prevalent in Dane County and that there are steps you can take to protect your pets.
There's just a lot of unknowns right now, and I think the safer that people are, wash your shoes, bleach them, 10% bleach solution, making sure that we're killing any virus off.
She adds that humans, dogs, and cats can get bird flu by coming into contact with infected bird carcasses.
Highly recommend keeping your cats indoors, especially as we get to spring baby season when we have baby birds that'll be on the ground.
Reporting in Fitchburg, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Meryl, and we will be sure to keep you updated on the bobcat's final test results from the DNR. Still ahead, why some health experts are concerned over the current measles outbreak in Texas and both New Mexico as well. Plus, spring is around the corner, which means so is allergy season. What allergists say you can do now to prepare. And could we get some thunderstorms at the end of the week? Alex takes a look at the radar when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. Measles cases are on the rise in the United States with nearly 230 reported cases so far this year. That's according to the CDC. So far, the disease has spread in Texas, New Mexico, and now Oklahoma with more than 200 reported cases in those 3 states alone. Right now, health experts are pointing to decreasing vaccination rates as the reason behind this outbreak. CDC data found vaccination coverage among kindergartners across the U.S. dropped to 92.7% for the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine during the 2023-24 school year.
Measles is not a harmless childhood infection. If you look at the Texas outbreak in particular, a little over 1 in 5 people are ending up in a hospital.
The CDC says measles has a mortality rate as well of 1 to 3 per 1,000 cases in children, and 2 deaths have been confirmed in this current outbreak. Well, if you're one of the millions of Americans who suffer from seasonal allergies, you may be dreading this time of year, but allergists say you can actually prepare now to lessen and even prevent some symptoms later. One way is to start now using sprays, because saline can help clear the nasal passages, and a steroid nasal spray can also reduce inflammation. And if sprays aren't for you, experts also recommend now starting a long-acting antihistamine pill, again, before the symptoms begin. Also, once pollen is in the air, it's pretty, but check those pollen forecasts and be sure to limit outdoor time when it's high. Finally, consider showering after being outside.
If they're keeping you from sleeping, they're keeping you from, living your fullest quality of life, I think it's a great idea to talk to your doctor, with your primary care doctor or allergist, to look for next steps to help you make you feel better.
CDC says you can also lessen the impact of seasonal allergies by changing clothes after being outside, keeping those windows closed, and using high-efficiency air filters in your home. Cooler today, and I can't believe we're talking about allergies in spring already. I know we'll have a warm-up, though, Alex, and we have some people who want to know.
Hey there, Glenn Stevens Elementary School. How's the weather? It's really nice, as we talked about today, matching the blue frames for the blue skies that we had today. And temperatures tonight will be down into the 30s with clear to partly cloudy skies as you join us again for that 10 o'clock newscast. So a nice day today. And just as Sarah was saying, there we go. Mercury goes right back up to 72 by the time we get to Friday. That's really above normal. Normal highs are right around 40 for this time of year. Notice the roller coaster ride. 37 on Sunday, 50s by early next week. And let's go back in history, going all the way back to the end of February, where temperatures were above normal. Then we had temperatures briefly go way below normal, then back above normal, then closer to normal, and then just what we had yesterday on Monday, that high temperature up to 67 degrees. This roller coaster continues. It's been a phenomenon really since last fall, but let's enjoy the good stuff as well, too. 45 outside, sunny skies. The winds are coming down just a bit east-northeast at 9 miles per hour. So beautiful evening in southern Wisconsin, as we were just saying, in the 30s by the time we get to 10 o'clock tonight. Overnight low temperatures will be in the upper 20s, and then we rise up into the low to mid to upper 50s across all of southern Wisconsin. 57 in Madison, 57 in Prairie du Chien, 52 in Baraboo, and 55 tied in Monroe and in Janesville for your Wednesday. We got to talk about this storm. After the nice stuff, we have a big weather system that's going to be a huge weather maker. Blizzard conditions in the Great Plains, and then our potential for thunderstorms out ahead of that. Some of these storms could be severe Friday evening going into Friday night, especially for areas from Madison and points up towards the south and towards the west. Platteville, Lone Rock, Viroqua, Monroe, and Janesville. And I want to put a track on this line of thunderstorms that could bring, from an impact standpoint, strong winds. That's the greatest threat right now with this line of thunderstorms. This line of thunderstorms is coming through a little bit later than earlier anticipated. Maybe perhaps not till 10:30 from Viroqua to Lone Rock to Madison. Watch it quickly sweep through, and notice it has a shape to it. It has kind of an arc shape. This is a sign that this line of thunderstorms could have strong winds, kind of that Boeing signal, as we sometimes call that. So that's the main threat, provided these storms hold together as they get into the area late Friday night, going on into the early part of Saturday. Then they quickly scoot to the north with perhaps a few more scattered showers on Saturday before the whole system wraps up. Because of the fast nature of this line of showers and thunderstorms, we're looking at widespread 1/4 to 1/2 inch, perhaps maybe 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch. If the line slows up a little bit, maybe we can squeeze out a little bit more water. While we don't need the severe weather, we most certainly could use the water from that line of showers and thunderstorms. And hopefully with it coming through at the late night hours, that will bring down that severe weather threat, but keep the rain that we desperately need here. Showers carrying on into Saturday. Sunday, a breezy day on the backside of that weather system. St. Patrick's Day is looking nice, highs of 50 with partly sunny skies, and our next chance of rain will be as we head towards Wednesday, going into Wednesday night with high temperatures in the 50s. A little bit more from Glenn Stevens Elementary. I had the honor of speaking about weather to the kindergarten class there. We talked about the day in the life of a TV meteorologist. There's that famous pepper tornado experiment. We talked about severe weather season starting. They had a whole bunch of Channel 3 signs, alert day signs, and again, that weather visit wouldn't be complete without also talking about how I matched the frames that I wear to the forecast. Blue for those blue skies that we had today. Thank you so much again for having me, Glenn Stevens Elementary School. And if you want me to come out, just email me, aharrington@wisctv.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Before the season, John Tonje was rated as the 296th player in the transfer portal. Turns out he was a little better than that, and the conference has taken notice. After averaging nearly 19 points and 5 rebounds per game, Tonje earned a unanimous spot on the All-Big Ten first team. He's the first Badger to garner first team honors since Johnny Davis did back in the 2021-22 season. Now, as far as the Big Ten tournament goes, Max Klesmit says today that he feels good. He's going to play. Klesmit has missed Wisconsin's last 3 games with a lower body injury and will be a boost for the Badgers on Thursday. And it's been a weekend of celebration for the women's Wisconsin hockey team. Saturday, they won their 2nd straight WCHA tournament title. And then on Sunday, the Badgers found out they were the top overall seed in the NCAA tournament. How about it? Now, as far as who they will play on Saturday with a spot in the Frozen Four on the line, that is to be determined. It will either be Clarkson or BU, but they won't find out until Thursday night.
A little more challenging when you have 2 teams that you have to look at, but it's a good position to be in. And then it's just, trying to get players refocused after, the celebration Saturday afternoon, the bus ride home.
The only thing is we'll have to watch film a little bit later. than usual, or we'll just watch film on both teams before. But yeah, in terms of preparation, not much changing. We're just taking care of ourselves.
And coming up later on News 3 Now at 10, could unstable federal funds impact progress on John Nolan Drive construction, or maybe even the second phase of the bus rapid transit? We take a look around Madison and check in on the financial status of the city projects. And now a final check on the forecast. Lots of ups and downs, but we'll take it.
Are you dizzy yet with all of the ups and downs that we've had? 72 by the time we get to Friday. You'll feel beautiful. People will be wearing their shorts, but I want you to let your guard down. When it's 72 in March and then you have a quick temperature change to 37 by Sunday, some weather's got to be happening in between. And we have alert day conditions that we're expecting Friday night going into Saturday that could bring a line of strong thunderstorms. And at 10, we will have an updated future track to keep on that line of storms.
Sounds good. Thanks, Alex, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.